Yo, full-time family, this is wild. Am I live? Let me make sure I'm live. We're about to do the stream starting soon. I was literally just talking to the camera for like the last 15 minutes. I thought I hit start streaming and I didn't. So now we're live. We're about to be talking about some WMMA tonight, full-time family. Amanda Nunes has said she's done with 145, but I think she's trolling Cyborg Nation, to be honest. She said she wants to fight. She's having fun on Twitter. I love it. Amanda Nunes has been having some fun on Twitter. We're going to go over that. She says she's done at 145 and suggested a different matchup for Cris Cyborg, and that different matchup would be the two-time Olympic gold medalist in judo, Kayla Harrison. And that's one of Amanda Nunes' teammates, and you know we got to talk about that. Also, Megan Anderson has called out Cris Cyborg following Amanda Nunes, saying she was done at 145. We'll get to that. We're going to cover that briefly, not much. We're really going to be talking about Amanda Nunes. We're going to be talking about Cris Cyborg. We're going to be talking about Kayla Harrison and a potential rematch between Nunes and Cyborg. Just talking some WMMA tonight. Maybe a shorter show, but I can't believe I was literally just, like, I was here, like, having a good-ass show. Like, you guys, it was a great show. Like, I was having, like, it was great. The intro was great. But, I was talking to myself because I didn't hit start streaming. So we're here now, man. What's going on? Valentine T, J Skills. What's good? Salute full-time fam. Valentine says, what time is it? It's full-time MMA. What's going on, Valentine T? So we're going to be talking some WMMA tonight, man. I was at work, and I seen on Twitter before I got off work because I was waiting to clock out. And there was an exchange going down on Twitter between Amanda Nunes. We're gonna go to her Twitter. She was having fun on Twitter, and I am not mad at her. Amanda Nunes' troll game was on 100 here. She was responding to Cris Cyborg originally. Cyborg, you know, calling for the rematch, and so we're gonna cover that exchange between Cyborg and Nunes, and then Amanda Nunes. It got even better. She went as far as, hey, chill, Prince. Drama, you motherfuckers. You guys better chill. The hell's wrong? Motherfuckers. Go lay down. Go lay down. Alright, my bad. Amanda Nunes, she said, you know, I'm done at 145, but my girl Kayla Harrison, you want to build that 145? I got a real 145 for you. Oh, troll game 100. Kayla Harrison's not even a featherweight. She was trolling. She said, I'm done at 145, but I got someone for you, a legit featherweight, pretty much saying I'm not a legit featherweight. So she was calling herself not a legit featherweight, but she just, I was loving it, man. And I think I officially became a part of Nunes Nation if I wasn't already. You know, I've definitely always been a Nunes supporter, but I've never, like, been hashtag Nunes Nation. But after tonight, man, she was having a lot of fun, and I enjoyed shit like that. But she was trolling, man, and she followed it up after, you know, talking to Cyborg and replying to Cyborg saying, you know, okay, I think I'm gonna go up and fight John Jones next, or maybe Brock Lesnar. Like she was having fun. We're gonna go over that. But Kayla Harrison retweeted Amanda Nunes', you know, saying, hey, I got someone for you. And Cyborg agreed to fight Kayla Harrison in the PFL if Kayla Harrison can win that $1 million and, you know, the lightweight tournament, the lightweight title over at the PFL. Cyborg has agreed to go up to 155. And we got to talk about it because I've been telling you guys before Cyborg got knocked out in 51 seconds by Amanda Nunes, 3 seconds longer than Ronda Rousey, that Kayla Harrison had a chance. I've been telling you guys future Kayla Harrison had a chance against Cris Cyborg. Since before Kayla Harrison's first pro MMA fight, I've been telling you guys this. And now Cyborg's agreed to fight her at 155. Honestly, I mean, there's not too many options out there, especially with the way Amanda Nunes is playing the game right now. If Amanda Nunes doesn't want to ante up and give her the immediate rematch, and I think she will, she might have a little fun with it. You know, she's clearly having a little fun with it. But You know, UFC, I think 237 is in Curitiba, Brazil. That's where Cyborg's calling for. I think Amanda Nunes wouldn't mind fighting in Brazil. But it ain't, she don't owe anybody anything. Amanda Nunes doesn't owe anybody, Cyborg, the sport. It ain't like Amanda Nunes, my boy Forward, shout out to him. Hopefully he hops on here and we can get on the panel. But he, I believe, tweeted Amanda Nunes and was like, if you respect Cris, if you respect women's MMA, you'll give her the rematch. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. She doesn't owe her. It's not if she respects Cris. She respects women's MMA, but you can't. I don't think you can put that on her because my retort, and I hope he can get on here because I don't want to just debate here, but I'll just give you a slight piece of what we were talking about. My retort was, so does Dominic Cruz not respect TJ Dillashaw or MMA because he didn't give an immediate rematch, or Conor McGregor didn't give an immediate rematch to Jose Aldo? Does he not respect the featherweight division? You can't say he's not a money fight because Conor McGregor versus anyone's a money fight. So are you saying Conor McGregor doesn't respect the featherweight division or doesn't respect Jose Aldo because he didn't give an immediate rematch, doesn't respect MMA? Like, what? No, you can't. Don't put that on Amanda Nunes. She legitimately won the fight. She legitimately won the claim to being the greatest female fighter of all time, and there's the facts behind it. One of the greatest resumes you'll find in a WMMA fighter. Some fighters, they don't fight people on their competition level. Some fighters get the hard road. We looked at Amanda Bobby Cooper's fucking schedule. Let's pull that up real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about when I say the hard road. Amanda, I'll pull up some, this is WMMA, so we're going to keep it WMMA. Even though I did see Darren Till versus Jorge Masvidal was recently announced. We got to talk about that eventually, soon. But Amanda Bobby Cooper, share dog. Let's look at her resume. You want to talk about a hard strength of schedule? She fought Aspen Ladd in her second fucking pro fight. And then she fought Tatiana Suarez. What in the fuck? How can you go undefeated like that? She never had a chance. She should have been fighting girls that were 0-0 in her second pro fight. Or 1-0. She was fighting fucking Aspen Ladd and then Tatiana Suarez. What? How do you go undefeated fighting girls like that? And so when you talk about resumes, Cyborg, it's not her fault. Cyborg's one of the greatest female fighters of all time because what she's done for the sport, which that's part of the reason, and also how she was beating everybody, knocking all of these girls out on this 19-fight winning streak. No one could beat her. People were scared of her. They didn't want to fight her. What she's done for the sport is undeniable. That's why she'll always be one of the greatest female fighters of all time, no matter what. Even if she rematches and loses again to Amanda Nunes, which is a very real chance, she's still one of the greatest female fighters of all time. Fucking Peyton Manning's, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, regardless of if he wins as many Super Bowls as Tom Brady. It doesn't matter, there's a Michael Jordan and a LeBron James. They're both greats of all time. Who's the best? It's up to you. You make that call. I mean, for me, it's Amanda Nunes, and actually for you, it should be Amanda Nunes, unless you're just extremely biased, because Amanda Nunes is the GOAT. She won the fight. It was 51 seconds. And then I could really just go into detail about how she's probably the more skilled fighter as far as fight IQ, and fight team, and pound for pound. Like I could really break it down for you why Amanda Nunes is the GOAT. Strength of schedule. If you look at her resume, she fought Valentina Shevchenko twice. Like, let's pull up Amanda Nunes' record. Sure, dog. Amanda Nunes' resume. She 2-0, 3-0. You don't expect her to be fighting when you're fucking 4-0, 4-1. Okay, you're still fighting mediocre competition. But her competition started turning up in about her 4th and 5th fight, 6th fight. Julia Budd, Idian Gomez, Alexis Davis. That's a fucking killer down there, Alexis Davis. You know, going up, Germaine Durandamy. We know about Germaine Durandamy's skills, striking, and what she was even became the featherweight champion. Beat Holly Holm. Germaine Durandamy is her name that you recognize. Kat Zingano. And then she went on to beat Valentina Shevchenko, Miesha Tate. You know, after the fact, people act like Miesha Tate's dog shit because she lost this fight. Fuck that, dude. Miesha Tate is still one of the baddest fucking female fighters in both ways. When she fought Holly Holm, the reason she won that fucking fight and won the title, she was a UFC champion. It wasn't by fucking luck. The reason she got to that title fight and how she won that fight, she was getting her fucking ass kicked, losing the fight. Won in the 5th round. 5th round submission. Put her to fucking sleep. Hung on. Holly Holm tried to flip out of it. What in the fuck? That's a tough girl. But Amanda Nunes breaks tough girls. People act like Ronda Rousey, everything she did was non-existent because she got knocked out twice. They act like she's never fucking threw a punch in her life because she got knocked out twice. Now, when you see what Amanda Nunes is doing to these girls, Ronda, you might want to put a little more respect on Ronda Rousey's name, right? Because she almost lasted as long as Cyborg. It was real close. They had about the same result. Both of them got knocked out in under a minute. Cyborg lasted 3 seconds longer than Ronda Rousey. So you got to put a little more respect on Ronda Rousey's name, I feel. I feel like that's what that did. I feel like Amanda Nunes winning these fights just shows how good she is. People took credit away from Miesha Tate and Ronda Rousey when she lost to Amanda Nunes. No, Amanda Nunes is just that fucking good. Training with the American top team. Valentina Shevchenko is one of the best female fighters on the fucking planet. It's not close. This girl has 2 wins over her. Oh, no, I think she won. Some people say, oh, she won the 2nd fight. Tell that to the fucking judges. In order to beat the champion, you got to beat the champion. Woo! What are you talking about? Did you not see that 5th round? People thought Amanda Nunes, oh, she don't got no cardio. She's knocking everybody out in 1 round. She don't got no cardio for 5 rounds. She won the 5th round. Fuck out of here. Shevchenko twice. They thought she was scared of Shevchenko in the rematch. Oh, she's hiding with sinuses and nasal. She had a history of sinusitis. I made a video, proof Amanda Nunes had a history of sinusitis. Because it happened in the past. That was a real deal. You live in Florida, the climate's different. You can't fight if you get fucked up sinuses, you know, right before the fight and you can't breathe. You're going to go into a fight not being able to breathe correctly. One of your biggest fights of all time against Valentina Shevchenko. Would you advise Daniel Cormier to fight John Jones in a rematch if he couldn't breathe out of his nose, or should he fucking wait until he can breathe? I think he should probably wait until he can breathe. That's all Amanda Nunes wanted to do. Can I breathe, bro? She got her sinuses cleared up, and she's scared of, that's what I said back then, even back then. You guys think she's scared of somebody she already beat? It just doesn't make sense, guys. It's sinuses, bro. It's fucked up. But it was true with Amanda Nunes. I never thought she was ducking Valentina Shevchenko. And she won the 2nd fight. She beat Raquel Pennington. Is Raquel Pennington all on Amanda Nunes' level? No, but nobody is. She definitely lasted 5 rounds with Amanda Nunes, though. A lot of girls don't make it out the first. As we've seen in, you know, Tate, Rousey, Cyborg. Shit, Miesha Tate lasted. We ain't gonna have fun with the numbers. But this is the GOAT we're talking about. And there's only 2 people that have a chance to change that conversation. Cris Cyborg and Holly Holm. If Cris Cyborg rematches Amanda Nunes in Curitiba, Brazil, which is possible, but Amanda Nunes does not owe that to anybody. She doesn't owe it to the sport. She don't owe it to no fucking body. If I'm Amanda Nunes, I'm using my leverage now. If you guys want me to go to Brazil, where all these motherfuckers been calling me crayonches, they all think I'm the American sellout, So I just knocked her out in 51 seconds. She wants the rematch. You might want the rematch because you guys think it's better business than whoever because, you know, neither one of them are huge draws, but people do want to see this rematch. And they're still decent draws, you know, but neither one of them are Daniel Cormier, John Jones. I feel like, you know, Conor McGregor, GSP, nothing like that. But in Brazil, the rematch, people do want to see that fight. And so if the UFC wants to make that fight, y'all are going to have to make it right with Amanda Nunes. I want the bag. The bag. Same with Daniel Cormier and John Jones. I need the bag. What? You want me to fight this dude who's fucking felon drug tests? What? Oh, he's clean now? But is it going to pulse? I need the bag. I don't need to fight this dude again. I can retire now and be one of the greatest fighters of all time. Amanda Nunes could literally not fight Cyborg. And yeah, it would piss some people off, but if you look at her resume, guess who would be the greatest female fighter of all time? If she wanted to take her ball and go home because she won the first fight, not because she lost. But she could definitely, she don't have to give her a rematch. She don't owe it to WMMA. She don't owe it to the fucking sport. Fuck out of here. WMMA, you want to talk about, what? Amanda Nunes' resume is fucking insane. And like I said, you want to talk about tough schedules? Let's look at Amanda Bobby Cooper. And yeah, it's not Cyborg's fault. She was fighting, you know, against girls that weren't on her level, but she was knocking them all out, which is why it's still impressive. What she did for WMMA is still to be commended, respected, why Cyborg will be in the Hall of Fame, and she's always going to be one of the greatest female fighters of all time. But it doesn't mean you're the greatest fighter ever. The sport evolves. People go to American Top Team and get better. You know, if you want to stay in Brazil with you know, your day ones, okay. Some people are going to make that decision to go to a legit fight team where they have the best coaches from all around the world and the best fighters at their camps, and they're training with them every fucking day, and they're going to get better than you. Like Amanda Nunes or Kayla Harrison. They're going to train at American Top Team and give it their fucking all, and they're going to get better than you. Call them a crayonch if you want. Right now, Amanda Nunes is the double champ. So with that being said, you know, Brazil already thinks Amanda Nunes is a sellout. Brazil don't fuck with Amanda Nunes. Everybody feels like, you know what I'm saying? Brazil don't like Amanda, like they rock with Cyborg over Nunes. So it's like Nunes is going to enemy territory if she goes to Brazil. Even though she's Brazilian, they done turned her into a crayonch. Don't nobody fuck with Nunes over there. So I beat you and I got to go to your hometown? How about we fight in Coconut Creek where my fucking homies are? You know what I'm saying? I beat you, you come to my hometown. I gotta go to Brazil and fight you where they ain't gonna fuck with me like that because y'all done turned me into a crayonch and shit? Why am I gonna go to your home? Why would I do that for you? Unless I get a bag, a big one. The fuck? I don't owe none of y'all. I would take this win and go fight the next bantamweight title fight, and you can go figure it out with Kayla because she's got something for you. So I'm rocking with Amanda Nunes, man. Best female fighter in the world right now. It's undeniable. Only people that can change that, Cyborg and Holm. Cyborg, if she wins the rematch, then she's back in the conversation. But I still think I would give the nod to Amanda Nunes. Unless Cyborg fucking knocked out Amanda Nunes in like 30 seconds and then we seen a trilogy. If Cyborg beats Amanda Nunes in a decision in the rematch, unless it's dominant, if it's a split decision, I think Amanda Nunes is still the GOAT when you're talking strength of schedule. Because it's extremely impressive. And, you know, a lot of the girls Cyborg were fighting were bantamweights because there's just no female featherweights out there for her to fight. There's no organization, well, there's Bellator now, but hasn't really been an organization that had legit competition for female featherweights. It's such a new division. There hasn't been that many fighters that are skilled at that level. And so Cyborg's been fighting girls that are not on her level, but she's knocked them all out, beat them all. But, you know, it's not a padded record because there's no competition she's ducking. It's not like she's ducking someone out there, you know, and padding her record like boxers do or something. You know, she's don't want to fight that person, don't want to fight that person. No one wants to fight her, and there's no competition on her level. So yeah, she's, you know, crushing some cans out there. Some of these girls are not on. None of these girls were on Cyborg's level. If you look at the red, you know what I'm saying? But she still fucked everybody up that she fought, and that's how she's one of the greatest of all times. And that's why if she beat Amanda Nunes in the rematch, I think she's back in the conversation for GOAT. You know, as far as the current GOAT. But right now it's Amanda, undeniably. And other than that, the only other person is Holly Holm, because styles make fights, and just because Amanda Nunes is fucking running roughshod through everybody, beating down the fucking goats, breaking the toughest fighters you fucking know. Valentina Shevchenko's really the only girl that she didn't break. You know, she didn't break Cyborg. She kind of just knocked her out. But man, she fucking broke Misha Tate. She broke Ronda Rousey, in my opinion. Like that was, it's like damn. Like I just remember like seeing Misha Tate get hit one time, and I was like, oh yeah, she don't. I think she wants out of there. You know, like it's not because she's not tough, but that's just a whole another fucking level in there. Like I think she's done with this one. She don't want another one of those. Yeah, that's what she does to girls. Like Ronda Rousey got hit. What the fuck was that? She got hit and looked like Anchorman for a second. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like that caught her off guard. What in the fuck did I just get hit with? Did fucking Shane Carwin just punch me in my fucking face? Holy shit. But with that being said, Holly Holm, styles make fights. Holly Holm's not gonna rush in there and fucking brawl with Amanda Nunes. And she's a counter striker. How does Amanda Nunes fight that fight? Does she get aggressive? Or does she try and she's got to fucking die? I think she wins. You know why? For one, of course you favor her, but styles make fights. I know Holly Holm could win that fight. It's a win. Like Holly Holm is one girl that can beat Amanda Nunes. Like what I predicted? No. I think I'm probably 80-20 Amanda Nunes on that one, but definitely Holly Holm could beat Amanda Nunes because she's a counter striker, kind of like Wonder Boy. So if you fuck around, get too aggressive, bye-yow, kicked in the fucking head, bowling ball punch. Ask Beshko Hale what I'm talking about. Bye-yow. After the head kick, ask Ronda Rousey about them head kicks. Holly Holm can catch your ass, and you know she can knock you out. So if Amanda Nunes gets aggressive, if she gets, you know what I'm saying, like lackadaisical, looks past Holly Holm, starts being in movies or some shit, like doesn't train as hard now that she's the champ, like if she loses focus, she could lose to Holly Holm 100%. And that would fucking be crazy. Oh, that would be so crazy. But it could happen. And that's one of the only girls that is not on this resume, this extremely impressive resume. She's fucking everybody up. Yeah, she could rematch Cat Zingano. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, you know what's crazy? People fucking bring up Cat Zingano, and they know good goddamn well if Amanda Nunes said, I want to fight Cat Zingano next, they would say, you're talking Cyborg, what? You want to fight Cat Zingano? What? Cat Zingano? What? She don't deserve a title fight? Yeah, but you motherfuckers always say she beat me, right? Michael Bisping got to fight Dan Henderson, right? Can't I fight her? Or now am I ducking the girl that I just beat? Come on, man. Nunes Nation ain't having that shit. But if you look at this, man, if you think about the fucking heads on her resume, Valentina Shevchenko twice. Yikes. Misha Tate, Ronda Rousey, fucking Cris Cyborg. What? God. You guys, that is crazy. Only person missing is Holly Holm. Bring that ass here, girl, because Amanda Nunes needs you on her resume. That's what we're talking about. That strength of schedule, that resume. What? Amanda Nunes is clearly the GOAT. Yo, we got to pull up the chat, man. We got to pull up the chat. But like I said, Holly Holm, what the fuck if she knocked out or something? Like, she could win the fight. What if she beats Nunes? It's a winnable fight. Styles make fights. Holy smokes. So yeah, that's one of the other girls. Let's pull up the chat, man. You guys want to hop in on the panel? If so, we can get the panel going right about now. Stamina MC in the building. Given sure name CFR Sports in the building. Cadbury Hardwell. Lolita Davidich in here. What's going on? Valentine T. J Skills. Even Joanna went to American Top Team. Oh, dude. The fighters in the at American, they got the best coaches from around the world, the best fighters. So you're iron sharpening iron. You're training with the best fighters, learning from the best coaches at the best facility. You got the, probably get the right nutritionist, all type of shit. AT&T, I feel like was similar to like not on the level of the UFC Performance Institute, but their coaches and fighters are better because they actually have fighters. So yeah, I feel like they were kind of like the UFC Performance Institute in a sense that I feel like they had the funds to where if you're a fighter that trains there, you're gonna have access to a lot of the best shit to become a champion, and who you're training with, who you're learning from. American Top Team, Joanna, Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, Amanda Nunes, let me pull it up. We just had it pulled up the other day, but I mean, I'm just thinking of the champions, right now. Like, they got a lot of champions coming out, former champions. American Top Team fighters. Send the link to my email full time. Okay, I'll pull that up. 1 second. Let me pull that up. We're going to do an intermission so I can plug in my headphones and get the Google Hangout going. Amanda Nunes, Joanna Jacek, Valerie Letrano, Nina Ansarov, Kayla fucking Harrison, Jillian Robertson. You got Mara Borrello, Jessica Aguilar, Karina Dam, like Alex Chambers. Like, they got a lot of fighters, and that's just their women. I mean, go back and you can go to their welterweights, their flyweights, their bantamweights. John Dodson, he trains for Jackson Wing, I'm tripping. But their lightweights, Dustin Poirier, Edson Barboza, Will Brooks, like, just fucking great wrestlers over there. Rashid Magomedov, Gleison Tebow. You could literally go to every weight class and just see fucking killers. So you got someone at each weight class to train with. If you're gonna be fighting someone that's potentially a little bigger, you got bodies to train with. Like, that to me, it's kind of been between AKA and ATT, but the difference is ATT has a lot more bodies to train with. Luke Rockwood has to go to Florida a lot of the times to train because there's not guys to train with for him. DC's, going to be retiring soon if he don't have a fight camp coming up, if he's busy, if Khabib's in Russia, if Cain Velasquez is injured. Luke Rockwood don't really have people to train with like Iron Sharp. There's still dudes over there, but, not at championship level, I believe he feels, which is why he goes to Florida to train when those guys aren't around. ATT, they got so many fucking killers there. You're never out of training, partners and just constant improvement. Which is why Kayla Harrison has a real chance to beat Cris Cyborg as well. Not only is she training with Amanda Nunes, who can definitely show her a little 1-2 right about now. She's been training with the American Top Team since before she started fighting. A whole year before she even thought about fighting, she started training the American Top Team to become a professional fighter. She got into the sport with the fucking goal to become the great. She didn't get into this just to fucking fight for fun and for money because she thought it was cool. She got into this shit with a huge, like, fucking goal to be the champion, like the greatest of all, not even just the champion, the greatest of all time. And so, training with the American Top Team with that, like, yeah, man, it's real. So let's get the panel popping up. Given name in here, Lolita David says Holly's predictable. Given name says Holly tends to just stick to punches, out move combos, and get to a kick. Yeah, I would pick Nunez, but definitely has a path to success in that fight. I think Holly could knock Amanda Nunes out. I don't see her beating her by decision unless she like outpoints or figures out a way to stay on the outside and outpoint her or submitting her. But she could knock Nunez out and shake shit up. Alright, let's go to Google Hangouts. Not an app. There we go. Video call. All right, let's get the link. And I gotta plug these headphones in. While I do that, we'll play a song. And we can talk on the panel about Darren Till, Jorge Masvidal. That was recently announced to headline UFC London. Gunnar Nelson versus Neil Magny. Gunnar Nelson's in the co-main event. I forget exactly off the top of my head who his opponent is. All right, we'll just play this for now while I get this set up. Be careful, Valentina. They're saying you're pretty. That you want a problem with, so stop it, bitch. Or you wanna gon' have to drop a bitch. I ain't about to lose and go out like my homegirl Ronda did. But speaking of losing, how about you and Amanda Nunes? She beat you twice, and for this fight she's teaching I'm the student, never truant. Cause I really wanna beat you, I'ma do it. When I do, please don't go to the media with excuses. I know you beat me in Muay Thai, but this is different. This is more than throwing punches, knees and kicks and clinching. This is more like war, these motherfucking chicks is vicious. And anything goes, I don't fear any of these hoes, not even Rose, Tatiana, just Andrade, or Cyborg. If you're trying to frighten me, then you should try more. When we fight, we'll get it poppin' like July 4th. At UFC 231, you're gonna die, whore. It's the fight game that I adore. I gave up everything to fight these wars, to become the greatest fighter in the world. So I hope you get what you're paying for. Be careful with me. Do you know who you're fighting? About my legacy or about my striking? You might beat these other girls around the world, but they ain't nothing like me. Be careful with me. Yeah. It's not a threat, it's a warning. Be careful with me. Yeah. I'm writing some bad words and your name on a water bottle. Be careful with me. This on the stream. All right, we got my boy Given Surname in here. Salute. What's going on?
What up, dude? Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, cool. I'm always paranoid about that.
Yep, we're good. All right, man. So we got to talk about it. Amanda Nunes, first she said she's done with 145, trolling a little bit. But then Cyborg said she's willing to fight Kayla Harrison at 155 pounds a little bit later if Kayla Harrison wins the PFL tournament. You got any thoughts on all of this shenanigans or this GOAT talk I've been talking over here?
I got a couple of thoughts. One is, I think it's always hard for me anyway is to think of, like, when somebody's in this, like,
I don't know why you just cut out for some reason. Like it cut in and out. Maybe is that just me? No, yeah, I don't hear you. You said I don't know why, and then it cut out. Yeah, I'm not hearing you right now. Now, yeah, you're leaning over and it's like cutting in and out. Maybe it's the connection. All right, let me send the link out. CFR Sports is looking for the link. Just 1 second. There you go. It's in the chat. All right, I'm hearing something. I heard you messing with something.
I changed my headphones. Are we good?
Yep, we're good now. We're good.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So what I was saying is, like when a fighter's in the moment of their peak, it's usually really hard to imagine like them losing, right? So, that's why it's always shocking when a Ronda Rousey loses or something. I feel like that's kind of where I'm at now with Nunez, where it's like, okay, if Cyborg can't beat her, who the fuck can beat her? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like, I don't know. It might just be kind of the easy way out to be like, well, now she's the GOAT. Like, who the
well, it's also because who else? Me for saying she's the GOAT. It's also because who else is in the conversation?
No, yeah, I'm not saying that it's wrong to say she's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I feel like there's probably people who can beat her. I'm just not smart enough, or I don't know the roster enough, or
I
like.
mean, Holly Holm has a chance. Aspen Ladd's
Yeah.
on the come up. Caitlyn Viera's on the come up. But I mean,
Caitlyn Viera is good one. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, those girls are contenders on the come up, but they haven't fought anybody, you know, like Valentina Shevchenko or former champions, or um, I don't think they're there yet. Like they might
Yeah.
earn a title shot, but they're you know, it's kind of like Anthony Smith fighting for the title right now. Like he earned his title shot, but you know he's probably not going to beat the GOAT. You know, I feel like that about Caitlyn Viera and Aspen Ladd. But it's just, and then at featherweight, what, Megan Anderson,
Yeah.
GDR. I mean, you know, and that's why I say Holly Holm has a chance to win. That would make it
Yeah.
crazy because you know, styles make fights. But I just think,
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, and that's a fight I've been waiting to see for a long time. I've felt like that one made sense for a long time, but for whatever reason, just never got made. But yeah, I agree. I think Holly might have the best chance of anybody around, just based on the matchup, her movement, like her length and ability to stay at range a
Yeah,
lot of
she's not
times.
gonna come. She's definitely not gonna try and brawl. And if Amanda Nunes tries to get like over aggressive, that could play into Holly's hands or feet.
Right. Yeah. But my only thing is, I just think Holly, like, she's just so predictable. I just think there's not that many ways I could see her winning. Like, okay, is she going to set up her perfect head kick? Because I don't see Nunez doing the Betch Correia shit of like getting programmed into, dropping your arm. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see her getting that kind of a head kick, and then I don't see her necessarily. I mean, maybe I guess she could rock her and then do the Ronda Rousey head kick, but I just don't see very many scenarios where Holly could get her out of there.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
tough. I think it's probably like 80-20 maybe. But I think that's one of the only people that can take away, or if Cyborg wins the rematch, that would kind of, okay, you can beat Amanda Nunes. At least you can beat her. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
still, if you go off a resume, like I think we would have to see a trilogy at that point, because even then, Nunes still has a great case. I mean, the fact that she's beat Shevchenko twice, and you know, people gave Rousey and Misha Tate shit, but they're still some of the greatest female fighters. Kind of like Cyborg. You can't take away Ronda Rousey's, you know, what she was doing and say, oh, she wasn't fighting high level competition, and then at the same time say Cyborg's the GOAT. You know, because it's kind of the same. Because I really feel like Ronda Rousey, you know, needs more respect put on her name after this fight. Because after the fact, after she got knocked out, you know, Holly Holm, that can happen. Nunez, that can definitely happen. Nunez, it counts, but it's like fucking, she can literally knock out just about anybody that quick. And so the people now, what they did though after that fight, they started saying that Ronda Rousey wasn't fighting high level competition, you know, and that's why she went on her streak, and she pretty much, they acted like she never had any skills at all as a fighter. And
yeah.
and
Well,
go ahead.
that's the thing. I think MMA fans, or maybe it's just people in general, but we tend to overreact one way or the other. So at first, she was way too hyped, probably because we bought into the promotion, and she was, the Mike Tyson of WMMA. And then when she loses, it goes all the way the opposite direction. She was the worst fighter that that ever
Yeah,
lived,
yeah,
and
100%,
we all, and like,
100%.
her boxing was just the
That's
funniest thing to watch, and
Yeah,
like
like
it's
her. Oh, she
total
never had
garbage.
boxing. Like what? She was
Yeah,
literally just the greatest thing that ever happened. Like Joe
yeah,
Rogan, who knows that his shit, shed a tear about this. You know what I'm saying? Like she was
yeah,
the greatest in everyone's mind. Like not even just casual fans. It's because what she was doing. Like she was legitimately getting those positions, securing those arm bars. Like everything she was doing was legit. But yeah, that's funny you say that. She went from being the greatest thing since sliced bread to being like the butt of everybody's jokes.
well, yeah, and we can look back now at a lot of those fights, and we can see that her competition wasn't, the most well-rounded or the most experienced or
And
whatever,
see,
you
so
know.
now this is the problem though. So people, after Ronda Rousey got knocked out, people wanted to do that people wanted to go back and look at her resume and see, okay, how did we not know she was going to get knocked out? So they started looking at her strength of schedule. And I did that with Cyborg, and like Ronda Rousey, you know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't fighting any killers in a sense. Ronda Rousey was defending her UFC title, at least against UFC fighters. And so I did the same thing with Cyborg, so I just don't see how any Cyborg fan can be anti-Ronda Rousey at this point, when now if you look at it, neither one of them fought Amanda Nunes' strength of schedule, or Amanda Bobby Cooper, who's fighting Aspen Ladd and Tatiana Suarez in her second and third pro fight. You can't go undefeated doing that. That's a fucking crazy. That's a crazy set of fights. Your first 3 fights, you had to fight Aspen Ladd and Tatiana Suarez. What? That's kind of crazy, and it didn't get any easier. They fed her to Mackenzie Dern, who missed weight by like 7 pounds. But Amanda Bobby Cooper had a rough schedule, and so people say Ronda Rousey, she didn't fight anybody. Well, I'm sorry, but I mean Cyborg, you know what I'm saying? She did what she did, and it's because I guess she couldn't make 135, and people didn't want to go up to 145 because they knew she was going to be so much bigger. But because of that, she neither had a high strength of schedule. So, I mean, it's crazier because not only is that similar to Ronda Rousey, the amount of time that the fight lasted is extremely similar. So, it's like they're in the same boat in a sense, except for Cyborg didn't get knocked out twice.
Have you, I got a question for you. Have you talked to Coach about all this?
No, I haven't, but I know Cyborg Nation's not going to be happy with the facts. I already know. Like, I get it. Yeah, but it's like worse now, man. I got to draw the line in the sand. For one, I'm Nunez Nation, and for two, Kayla Harrison versus Cyborg is what? It's going to what?
I feel like y'all need to have a call or something.
We can have a debate, but like I told Forward, like I'll tell anybody, you debate me on something, I got the facts. It's going to be hard. You want to debate me on Nunez being the GOAT? It's going to be hard. You want to debate me on Kayla Harrison's potential? It's going to be hard. So
I saw you and Forward were arguing about something on Twitter. Debating.
I talked about that. I don't even know if I did on this stream or I started the stream and forgot to hit start. Yeah. I don't know if it was then or there, but okay. But we had a little bit of back and forth. That's why I was hoping he would hop on the panel, because I seen him tweet Amanda Nunes and he said something along the lines of, "Come on, Amanda Nunes, everyone wants to see the fight, as far as the rematch is concerned. And if you respect Cris, if you respect women's MMA, you'll give her the rematch." And I was like, yo, whoa. That's a little... Fuck that. If I'm Amanda Nunes, I'm trolling, and I don't give a damn about fighting you again unless I'm getting compensated heavy. What the fuck do I owe you? I just cleaned you up in 51 seconds after you made my home country fucking... I'm a sellout now in my home country. I'm probably not even good in my own hood at this point because everyone thinks I'm a crayonch. You didn't like the time it took me to come up to your weight. I wanted time to put on the weight and come up. You didn't want, you wanted to make it look like I was scared of you in a sense because, you come on, fight me now. Fight me at UFC 228 on short notice. Like, no, I want the time. And clearly it worked out for her. But, I mean, up until this fight, she was the one getting trolled. Oh, Amanda Nunes is scared. Oh, she's a crayonch, blah, blah, blah. And now she's trolling a little bit. And I do think that she will rematch Cyborg. I don't think she's scared of a rematch by any means. I think if that's the fight that makes the most sense, that could be next. But, on top of what I just said, in Curitiba, Brazil is where Cyborg's calling for it. So now I just beat you, and I got to come to your home territory because Brazil, you know whose side they're going to be on.
Yeah.
So it's like Amanda Nunes, she should have the leverage here. She's the champ, and I also had a little conversation with my boy MMA Buds / Dan from Oregon. Check out MMA Buds on YouTube if you haven't. Dope channel. But he's talked about Colby Covington, and how he's, being victimized by the UFC right now. And I don't feel bad for Colby Covington. I don't give a fuck about that dude, honestly. But I think it's a different situation because Colby Covington, I feel like he tried to use his leverage before he earned it. Like, don't fucking wait until you get the belt to have your leverage and make your demands. You can't become the interim champion, turn down a fight, and then price yourself out the game and be a victim. You gotta wait until you get the actual title, I feel like. You gotta, and then you have your leverage. Like Amanda Nunes right now, she's got all the leverage over Cyborg, even the UFC. You guys want me to fight Cyborg again? You gotta pay me. Like, the UFC don't have to fold to Colby Covington. Dude, like, you can fight a contender next for all we give a shit. Like, if we release you, go to, like, it's not like they would have to stall a whole division to put Colby Covington on ice because he's not the champion. So if you want to make a play, like, demand a certain amount of money, wait till you get the belt. Unless you really don't want smoke with Woodley, which is what one of my theories is. I don't think Colby Covington thinks he can beat Woodley or Usman. So he's sitting out and trying to, play reverse psychology on Dana White. Oh, if you got balls, you'll release me. So he can go straight to the WWE.
Maybe. The weirdest...
CFR, you got me on in the background. If you could hit mute on the video. But you are in the building. What's going on, CFR Sports?
Good day, all. Good day. What's happening?
Not too much. Good to have you on the panel. Given your name, you were just about to say something?
The thing that, the weirdest thing about Colby is, like, I feel like just a couple of months ago, he was like Dana's mini-me, like, right-hand man, trying to, like, be the next boss guy, like, trying to be the next...
Yeah, the UFC doesn't want Tyron Woodley. They want me to be the champion. Dana White got him the invitation to the White House. The UFC gave him, the fights with the contenders to get him where he is. Like, and that's another point I made. The UFC made this guy.
Yeah.
Like, they got him the fight in Brazil. They rewarded his bad behavior whenever fucking... Some people could argue Colby Covington endangered UFC employees' lives by all that stupid shit he said. The UFC employees have been robbed like twice. I think only one of them was after he said that shit. And yeah, you can't directly correlate it, but Colby Covington, Brazilians don't like Colby Covington and the shit he's been saying. And so the UFC, after he said all that shit, they let him fight. They were going to book him in Brazil or, so they gave him the fight with Damian Maia. They gave him the fight with Rafael Dos Anjos, and they got him in the White House. So now your leverage is, hey, I beat Damian Maia RDA, and I went to the White House. Dude, we did that for you. You wouldn't have done none of that without the UFC, and you're not the current champion. So I don't see the leverage there. But I want to ask you guys. I'll ask CFR Sports. What are your thoughts on Amanda Nunes versus Cyborg in a potential rematch? Do you think Amanda Nunes should give Cyborg the immediate rematch, or would you like to see something else?
I think based upon the quote unquote dominance that she's had over questionable, as you've highlighted, opponents, I think based upon that and what she's done for the sport, it goes without saying it should be an immediate rematch. And then if Nunes is able to, do a repeat performance, then what she needs to then do is then go for Cat Zingano and get that win back. That's to me the most logical thing to do.
Now I ask you this: if she beats Cyborg twice and then like calls out Cat Zingano, do you think that would be accepted well? Because Cat Zingano's not a #1 contender. Like, I think, because when Michael Bisping fought Dan Henderson, it didn't, some people were cool with it, but I don't think it went over well with a lot of fans and fighters because he was, like, I think ranked number 10, yes, I think, when he got the title shot. So she would be going down in the rankings. So I think people could, I don't know. Do you think people would still want to see that fight? I'll say that.
Well, I think it's more... I'll answer it in two ways. The people, it's going to be 50-50. Some people will be saying, oh, well, she's not deserving. She had her last performance with, the tall lady Megan. She got her eye almost taken out, etc. So she hasn't had a good run of it, but she's a talented fighter. She's beat her once already.
Yeah, that's there.
I think, I think for her own legacy, for Nunes' own legacy to say, these, look at the opponents I've faced. I had 2 questionable fights with Valentina, which I personally think that it was one apiece rather than Nunes getting all of those decisions. So she goes back and gets that loss from.
Okay, now, before I go to my boy Stamina, who hopped on the panel, salute, I want to ask you one more thing about that CFR Sports. Do you think it would be better for Amanda Nunes' legacy to beat Kat Zingano or Holly Holm?
Oh, it's a tough one. I guess it would be Holly Holm based upon her being a former champion. But, you know,
yeah,
person,
both of them would be nice.
Yeah, she can go for if she's can maintain this dominance that she's doing, then I don't see any reason why she doesn't do a rematch with Cyborg, beat her, then go back and then go for Holly Holmes maybe, depending on what the situation is, and then go for Kat Zingano.
Okay. Stamina MC, how's it going? Salute, check, check.
Level, check, 1, 2.
What's going on? We hear you.
Okay, tidy.
Picture's frozen a little bit, but we hear you.
Yeah, I caught that. I don't know what. Just halfway through, you mentioned some food as well. It's not the most exciting picture, is it?
There we go.
Just fuck that one off. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, man. I know you're excited to. You probably thought I was gonna be on here just ranting about Kayla Harrison, huh? I know you're excited about that.
Well, bruv, the only reason why you're not doing that is because there's been no one to put fire under your feet. Like you'll find a way to do it if you can, but as of now, you know that
we haven't got there yet.
Some fucking Inspector Gadget Arms level of reach.
No, Inspector.
I was gonna mention something when we get to it, but are we
yeah,
about to get to it? Okay.
We haven't got there yet.
No, we're not. We're not doing that. Not while I'm here. Fuck that shit.
We gotta ask Stamina MC first about this immediate rematch. What are your thoughts on? What do you think Amanda Nunes should do? First, do you think Cyborg is entitled to a rematch, and do you think is that what you want to see next for Amanda Nunes? I think that's what I want to see. I think that's what I want to see. I think the question I really want to ask is, do you think Amanda Nunes owes anybody this rematch?
No. The O thing is literally like your own creation. No one has said that. No one has even intimated that. It's never ever about
okay
or about entitlement.
Yeah, not like her.
Nobody else did that.
Not like that might be the wrong word. But I mean, do you think if she doesn't give this immediate rematch, she's in the wrong?
Well,
if she decided to do something else, is she in the wrong? Is what I'm asking.
Honestly, no.
Okay.
And the reason why no is nothing to even do with the specifics of the Cyborg fight. It's the fact that nothing is going on in the bantamweight division. Regardless of how that fight actually turned out, Amanda just has to go back to bantamweight anyway because nothing's happened there for fucking ages. Like, but it's more the unwillingness to even agree to the rematch under any circumstances that doesn't sit well with me. Because in light of the way that the fact did play out, because of the way that we know Cyborg to fight, granted, not against the highest level of competition, but Cyborg doesn't fight the way she fought that weekend. We all know that. We can all acknowledge that. A trainer said that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
In light of that fact, I think it would be compelling to see another match like that just because of the way it played out. Whether it's the thing to do, that's an opinion-based thing. What influences the opinion, however, is the fact that there's no fight for Amanda at 145 that is more compelling than that. Nothing is more interesting than that. So to allow Cyborg a rematch, I think is good. To allow her an immediate rematch fucks up the bantamweight division, and those two fighters are not that important as to keep things waiting even longer.
100%, yeah, because I think if an immediate rematch, she might have either be stripped or vacate that belt. So yeah, for sure, that's a great point. I think you say that. I think for sure she should go back down. Definitely not an immediate rematch, but yeah, that's a rematch. But UFC 237, I don't know the date of that, but that's a few months for sure when they're going to Curitiba. That's when Cyborg's calling for. But Amanda Nunes, if she defends her belt one time before then, I think it'd probably be the winner of Aspen Ladd and Holly Holm. And I don't want to look past Aspen Ladd, but I don't, and I think she's got a serious future, serious potential. She's the real deal. Like, if you're not on Aspen Ladd, like, you're sleep on her. She's might be a former champion. She's for sure going to be a future, because she's already a contender. But Aspen Ladd is a beast. She can beat Holly Holm, but I kind of don't want her to, because I really want to see Holly Holm versus Amanda Nunes. But Do you think that that's who she should defend her title against, the winner of that fight?
Absolutely not. No fucking way.
No?
No way. No fucking way. Aspen Ladd has basically been around for 5 minutes. Like, she's a
That's true. I was really looking more at Holly Holm, but damn, that kind of threw me off. No
fucking way. Holly Holm, neither. Like, what the fuck has Holly Holm done?
What? That's Holly Holm.
No, I don't give a shit. Like, Holly Holm is attractive on paper on account of her former championship and that one highlight reel fucking kick. Look at her body of work. What has she done?
Yes.
The only two people that she got out of there were people that basically allowed her to do so.
No.
What did she do with Marion Reino? What did she do with
I'm going to show you. GDR.
Not a fucking great deal.
Fucking Miesha Tate. She was winning those fights. Arguably the GDR fight, you could say she won. She's been fighting championship caliber opponents. And if you look at her strength of schedule, her actual resume, who she's been fighting, it's tougher than the girl Cyborg has been fighting. And she's been losing, but they're 5-round fights. They're championship fights. She went 5 rounds with Cyborg, which is extremely impressive. A lot of girls don't make it there.
That's not the point I'm making, dude. That's not the point I'm making.
All right, let me pull up her resume, though. What's your point?
Almost doesn't count. Almost doesn't count. Like, the fact of the matter is,
it doesn't take away from her skills that she showed in those fights.
Sure it doesn't, but if you're talking about eligibility for future competitiveness against the champion, you don't have enough victories to fight the champion. It's no more complicated than that.
If you're in a UFC world where always only the person on a winning streak that's the ranked #1 contender gets the fight, and like that's never been the case though. Like it's not always. And who's the #1 contender? Caitlyn Viera? If Holly Holm beats Aspen Ladd, who's undefeated, and she is the former champion, coming off of a win. And for sure, she's 2-1 she would be 3-1 in her last 4 fights. She fought Valentina Shevchenko, Miesha Tate, and Jermaine Durandamy. She's been fighting legit competition.
Cool, but she didn't win.
She beat Megan Anderson. She beat Betch Correia. She lost to Cyborg. Like, how do you? Who beats Cyborg unless you're Amanda Nunes? Like, she's fighting tough fights. If she wanted to fight somebody else. If she, but listen. If she didn't fight Cyborg and she fought just another bantamweight right there, she would be on a 3-fight winning streak. Yes. She'd be on a 3-fight winning streak, and then if she beat Aspen Ladd, she'd be on a 4-fight winning streak, and she would be in line for a title shot.
Well, basically, at bantamweight, she's only on a 1-fight winning streak. Like she beat Betch. That's it.
Yeah, she's on a winning streak. Okay, so she would be on a winning streak. Even if she fought Megan Anderson at featherweight, or if she fought someone else at bantamweight, like who really is there in the bantamweight division that's just gonna beat Holly Holm? Like, yeah, she could fight Betch Correia, and like you could make her fight Aspen Ladd, then Betch Correia, but I mean that's in a perfect world. I think like in the UFC for sure, Holly Holm's probably gonna get the title shot if she wins.
Yeah, but they'll give her the title shot on account of her brand and the fact that she's a fan favorite.
I think it's a part of it.
No, but it's the majority of it, because you can't look at her body of work and say she's the unarguable shoo-in for contention. She absolutely is not, because there are other fighters in the bantamweight division who have got more wins under their belt, more successive wins under their belt than her. She doesn't have enough of a win streak behind her.
Okay, so who?
Like, right, everyone else.
Caitlyn Viera? All I can think of is Caitlyn Viera.
Yeah, absolutely Caitlyn Viera. For whatever reason, they've put GDR at #1. Like, do something with that. Like,
Caitlyn, I'm going to pull up Caitlyn Viera, but, like, she beat, Raquel Pennington? Who? Like, she hasn't fought in a while. I know one of her fights got canceled, but...
She's injured.
She's injured, okay. But, like, she's had 4 UFC fights. The first 2 aren't super high competition. She's 10-0. She beat Sarah McMahon and Kat Zingano. She beat Kat Zingano via split decision. Like she beat Kelly for Scholes via split decision. Like who the fuck is that girl? Like I get it.
You gotta remember,
she's
the UFC is gonna do whatever the hell they want to do. It doesn't matter about the rankings.
100.
I feel like Holly Holm's wins and losses are more impressive than this girl's wins. Even her losses. You lost to fucking Valentina Shevchenko. Yeah, she's more marketable. That's a fact. I mean, that plays a big part into it. Like I do agree with Stamina. That's a majority of the part of it. Why she's going to get it no matter what.
That's all it's ever going to be. That's all.
But that's probably is all it's ever going to be. But even if you want to go off of fucking merit here, I'd kind of go to Holly Holm. Like, when I think about who do I want to see Amanda Nunes fight next,
You're tripping.
who do I think
Yeah,
to prove she's the greatest?
You're interested in the fight because you haven't seen it, but like the thing is, you for as long as I've actually been on your channel, listening to you, talking to you, whatever the fuck else, like you've never even expressed as much of an interest in that matchup as right now. And
no, I have shown interest. Not as much, but it's because she hadn't beat Cyborg yet.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
But as far as her bantamweight resume is concerned, that is the fight I wanted to see. That is the fight I wanted to see. I've always been Holm over Viera when it comes to her at bantamweight. Featherweight out of the picture before she fought Cyborg. I wanted to see her fight Holm as far as her resume is concerned because I feel like she's one of the last heads on that bantamweight dragon. Even if you take Cyborg out, when you look at the queens of bantamweight, the former queen, like if you're talking about legacy, who do you want to beat? Like Tyron Woodley, he wants to fight guys like GSP for his legacy. He wants legacy fights, those big names. Damian Maia's kind of a legacy fight, but Caitlyn Viera is not a legacy fight. That's just some girl that's won a few fights in the UFC that really nobody knows. It's not going to do. People aren't going to look at your resume and be like, oh, she beat Caitlyn Viera. Well, they will see Holly Holm and be like, oh shit, she beat Holly Holm. Like that's way more impressive for your resume. And it's not like Holly Holm is a shit fighter. She's got some losses because that's how the fight ended up playing out. But she was fucking beating Miesha Tate. Okay, yeah, it almost doesn't count. But no, she fucking was winning that fight. It doesn't take away from what she did in that fight. Props to Miesha Tate. She's extremely tough for hanging in there and pulling off that submission. But Holly, if that fight lasts 3 more seconds, that's a win for Holly Holm. And it's not like, oh, look, she's just losing all these fights. Valentina Shevchenko, that's a legitimate loss. That shit threw me off for a second. I did not expect her to get completely outstruck like that by fucking Valentina Shevchenko. I'm not going to lie. I was like, what? What the fuck am I watching? Valentina fucked Holly Holm up. Facts. Jermaine Durand to me, extremely close fight. At featherweight too, not even bantamweight. So if you want to just talk bantamweight, she lost to Miesha Tate in a title fight, and she lost to Shevchenko. So her last bantamweight, she's 1-2 in her last bantamweight fights because the GDR and the Cyborg fight were featherweight. So,
so therefore, she's only got 1 win. That's what I'm saying. Betch, who was at number 11 at the time when she won that fight.
And that's fine, but since then, I think fighting Cyborg is more impressive. Like fighting Cyborg to 5 rounds is more impressive than Caitlyn Viera beating Sarah McMahon, or she beat Kat Zingano. But like, are they in their prime right now? Is Kat Zingano someone we're looking at as a title contender? But what was Kat Zingano's rank when she fought Caitlyn Viera? Like 6?
I don't even know. I don't even know. But like all I'm saying is what you're doing is you're just using like confirmation bias by influencing a lot of other miscellaneous shit so as to support your position. Like, really, none of that should matter. It will matter because it's Holly.
So are you saying whoever's on a winning streak should get the title shot?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if there's no one else, i.e. what was going on at the featherweight division, then you just do what you can. But to put Holly in there over other bantamweights that aren't as attractive, that aren't as fan favorites and whatever else, that are just doing their thing and winning fights, and yet
I don't give a damn about Holly's looks or Caitlyn's looks. That's not.
Yeah, you don't, but people do. People do.
That's facts.
People won't put Holly in there because
like the UFC is gonna fuck some deserving contenders over. Like, talk to Max Holloway. Had to fucking fight 10. He was on a 10-fight winning streak. Yeah, he could have got a title shot at 4-0 or 5-0 or 6-0 or 7-0 or 8-0 or 10. But no, it took fucking 10-0. Caitlyn Viera could literally have to go fucking 8-0 in the UFC before she gets a title fight. Like Kamaru Usman. Or that's facts. Like the UFC does pick and choose who they want to get the title fight. So yeah, Holly Holm's going to get it no matter what. But I think on this one, on this specific instance, it's not only that. I think also here it's resume. Also, if you're Amanda Nunes, forget what the hell the UFC's talking about. Who do you think she would rather fight as far as her legacy is concerned?
They're just looking buys, man. That's all they're interested in is buys. How much clicks can we get on here? It ain't about the the
Yeah, but
pure
I'm
standards
saying
of
Amanda
this.
Nunes gets to make a decision too. If the UFC said, "Listen, who do you want to fight, Caitlyn Viera or Holly Holm?" What do you think Amanda Nunes is gonna say? Holly Holm.
Amanda's already said Holly.
Yeah, she said that on Twitter that she would like to fight Holly Holm. Yeah, but I just think that's like.
But that's for the look. That's not even for the competition or any sort of meritocracy. That's just for.
I don't think she's fucking ducking Viera.
She wants that trophy on her wall. No, of course not.
Like, I think Viera would step up and get, like, you would just rather see her step up and get knocked down than see a fight that everyone wants to actually see. Well, most people. Like, Viera, like, what is she going to do? I guess submit her? Maybe she got 4 submissions. Over who?
Name recognition, isn't it? I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah. The name recognition is a fact. I think that's for sure Holly Holm's going to get it no matter what. But what do you think about the actual, like, merit? Like, Caitlyn Viera, what she's done. Do you think she deserves the title fight over Holly Holm, given?
Yes.
I mean, wait, do I think Viera deserves the shot over Holm?
Do you think she deserves it off of her win over Sarah McMahon and the split decision win over Kat Zingano?
And she's 10-0, right?
Holly, yeah, she's 10-0 over her career. She's 4-0 in the UFC.
Yeah, so to me, in that division, clearly she deserves it by merits, but that's not what we're doing in the UFC anymore, right? You know, like, these rankings aren't based on that. You know, if somebody's a huge name, they're gonna get moved up in the rankings, especially if like you were kind of saying, if everybody is quote unquote is wanting to see this, and by everybody meaning the people who are tuning into ESPN who have heard of the UFC a few
Holly
years
Holm,
back.
a lot of them probably.
Yeah, like they watched the UFC a couple years back, and maybe they haven't checked it out in a while or whatever, but they remember Holly Holm.
For sure.
Something like that. Like, I think it makes complete sense why she would get the shot, and I mean, we can bitch about it all we want as fans, but we're not going to change anything.
Okay, yeah, no, I felt like, okay, I guess I'm by myself then. I feel like Holly Holm actually deserves the fight more. Like, I don't feel like Caitlyn Viera is just, like, jumping up, you know, like when Tony Ferguson's on a 10-fight winning streak or Kamaru Usman's on, like, a 9-fight winning streak beating the best fighters in the world. I think that's someone who's like, yo, where's my fucking title shot? Caitlyn Viera, she fought like twice. It's 2019. She fought twice in 2017. She's fought 4 fights in the UFC. 3 of them were decisions. 2 of those were split decisions. Her fight that people are saying that earned her this title shot was a split decision over a girl that's not ranked in the top 5. Meanwhile, Holly Holm, she lost, cool, but she knocked out Betch Correia in her last bantamweight fight. She fought Cris Cyborg. She fought in a featherweight title fight. She fought Valentina Shevchenko. Like, yeah, she lost, but she's fighting higher level competition.
I guess it comes down to, like, how do we rank someone who's fought outside of the division? Like, how does their work outside of that division weigh in, especially if they lose? But do we give them participation points for going up and giving it a shot or whatever? Because that sounds kind of like what you're.
But I would even take it if you just take away. Okay, let's take away her featherweight fights. Let's take away Megan Anderson, Cyborg. Let's take away Megan Anderson. Let's take away Cyborg, and let's take away GDR. She's 2-2 in her last 4 bantamweight fights. She beat Betch Correia, lost to Shevchenko, lost to Miesha Tate, beat Ronda Rousey. So she lost to Miesha Tate and lost to Shevchenko. The Miesha Tate one we talked about, yeah, she lost it, but you fucking watch the highlights. Anyone that watched that fight, you could argue she was winning that fight. She was definitely winning that fight. So she's not 3-1 in her last fights. She's 2-2 in her last 4 bantamweight fights, but it's really close to 3-1. And who she was fighting in her 4 fights, just bantamweight, no featherweight, is way more impressive than who Caitlyn fought.
Yeah, but
Kelly Fasholes, who is this? I 100% don't know who this is. Kelly Fasholes. And she fought her to a split decision. Like, we're talking about Holly Holm fighting in 5-round fucking fights, championship rounds, championship level fighters. On, like, I feel like
honestly,
merit, she deserves it.
Honestly, I don't. Here's the thing: I don't really care too much about Caitlyn Viera, or I'm not like pushing for her over somebody else. It's just I'm looking at the rankings and I'm going, okay, Holly Holm seems to be a little bit high. Everybody else, meh. Like, I don't really.
And it's out of Holm and Viera. It's not like there's a fucking variety of just people that are waiting like a log jam of contenders, like at lightweight where you got 10 people who deserve a title shot. It's out of 2 people. When it's on merit, it's arguable. I mean, and we're just arguing merit just for a fun conversation. We know who's going to get the shot regardless. Like I just feel like, yeah, her bantamweight resume is better than Caitlyn Viera's. But hey, I mean, Caitlyn Viera is on a winning streak. She is ranked high.
Not by much.
Betchko is ranked 12.
Man. Stamina, we gotta agree to disagree on that one, man. You're talking about Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey, Valentina Shevchenko, and Betch Correia compared to Kelly Fisholes, Ashley Evans Smith, Sarah McMahon, and Kat Zingano.
The competition level is incomparable, absolutely. But we're talking about
just technicality, wins, losses.
Yes, what did she do with that? There isn't that you don't get like a 70% win or a 30% loss according to what you did within those rounds. It's either it's a unan, it's a majority, or it's a split, or you didn't fucking win at all. Those are your options.
And that being said, Caitlyn Viera won 2 splits. She's 3 decisions. She only finished 1 chick, submitted her, 2 splits. So yeah, man, we'll have to agree to disagree because I'm rocking with Holly Holm on that one. Like, I just think she deserves it.
But you're going with feelings. You're not going.
No, I'm not. I'm literally going with her bantamweight resume. She's 2-2 against better fighters. Oh, she lost. She's fighting higher level competition. That's like the Ashley Evans or Amanda Bobby Cooper. In her first 3 fights, she fought Aspen Ladd and fucking Tatiana Suarez. She's not complete trash because she lost to those girls. That's a tough schedule. If Holly Holm would have fought fucking Kelly Fisholes instead of Valentina Shevchenko, she would have wins.
How about this then? I'll say to you that even if you believe that Holly's wins are against, they are against better competition, but like, even if you think that Holly's wins are more impressive on account of the stoppages or whatever else, I would say that gets balanced out by the fact that Caitlyn's streak is longer. So Holly's wins are more impressive, but because Caitlyn's got the longer streak, they kind of cancel each other out there.
Okay, I just don't put. I think what the disconnect is I just don't really care about the technicality of a winning streak. Like, oh, you beat 4 girls? Well, that's more impressive than fighting tough fights. Just because it's technically like anybody can go 7-0 and get on a win streak if they avoid the highest level competition, and so they deserve a title fight because they're not fighting the best because they're winning.
Yeah, but whose responsibility is that? That's solely down to the matchmakers. I'm putting it to you that if everyone thinks the way that you think the entire time, then Holly will just get shot after shot after shot, and nothing will ever change.
Yeah,
I don't think so. No, not if she's not coming off of a loss. If she was on a 3-fight losing streak, I would not be saying she deserves a title fight just because of her strength of schedule. If she fucking lost to Betch Correia and wasn't beating Miesha Tate, if she got submitted in the first round, I wouldn't be arguing Holly Holm. The way the fight played out matters to me. The competition matters to me. Miesha Tate is a former champion for a reason because of that fight, but she's got legitimate skills. That's a good fighter.
Bro, if the way the fight plays out matters to you, then fucking Betch Correia threw that fight. Betch Correia was winning until she called her and goaded her into the kick. Holly was losing that entire fucking fight.
I don't know about that. It was a slow fight. It was a really boring fight. Of course it was. But winning?
Holly wasn't winning. Holly was not winning. Watch it again. Trust me.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think anybody was winning. That fight was shit before that.
I'm 100, but I'm not trying to consider what went down in the fight. Like, if you are, then that works against Holly.
And it's like, did you watch Caitlyn Viera versus Kelly Fisholes? Like, how did that split play out? I didn't watch that one.
I haven't watched that now.
Like, she could have lost that one. She could have been like, who watched it? Who cared? Like,
which is why I'm not doing that sort of stuff. But you are. You're involved in extracurricular shit that people don't think about.
It doesn't to me, it doesn't matter how your fight against Kelly for Shoals played out because it's against Kelly for Shoals, and that's not as impressive. A win over Kelly for Shoals is not as impressive as a loss to Valentina Shevchenko to me. If you put up a fight, if Valentina Shevchenko just knocks you out and you never stood a chance, okay. If Miesha Tate just chokes you out in the first round and just completely dominated you, you never stood a chance, okay. But if you're winning that fight against a high-level fighter, or you even stand a chance against a high-level fighter, I have more stock into that than a split decision win over a lower-level. And I don't even care if it's a split, than a win. I feel like you should have dominated that fight. Like, if you're Aspen Ladd would probably finish this. Aspen Ladd would fucking smoke this girl. Kelly for Shoals, that's not a split decision for Aspen Ladd. She's going to fucking finish that girl. So it's like, I hear what you're saying. She's on a 4-fight winning streak, and so by that, she should get the title. But I just feel like if anyone can do that if they take the easier fights. You can go 5-0. You can go 6-0 and get your title shot.
You can't say that in public. Like, you can't. Easier fights. No. Like, people get given the fights that they're given. Especially if your name is Caitlyn Viera and you don't fucking speak English and you're from a part of the world that no one gives two fucks about.
But I'm saying if you have a management team, if you have a manager, if you have a manager that's gonna, hey, that fight's not smart for us. Kayla Harrison is not about to fucking fight Cyborg tomorrow because you get given what you're given.
Here's another
thing.
You
have a team behind you that helps you make smart fights. Hey, this is not the best fight to take.
I feel like one of the things that we're not seeing eye to eye on in this conversation a little bit is that one of these fighters' first fight in the UFC was in 2016, while the other one, I believe, had the belt around that time. So one of these people has a lot of experience, is fighting people with experience, and the other one is not. So I mean, we can't really compare their records like, apples to apples.
I mean, if you want to go to first fight in the UFC, Raquel Pennington's tougher than Kelly for Shoals. We can go to second fight. Marion Renault's tougher than Ashley Evans Smith. We can compare fight for fight.
I'm not even necessarily trying to compare fight for fight or anything like that. I think even just current kind of momentum, like I see what you're saying with like losses or whatever can be more if you put up a fight. But if your last win was in the division was against Betch Correia, who is ranked 12th, is not an impressive fighter, probably gets finished by most everybody in the top 10. I just don't see how you have enough momentum to really warrant a title shot.
I hear what you're saying. If you want going off bantamweight momentum, just because you're coming off of the win over Betch Correia, but I mean, I don't feel like Caitlyn Viera's just got a ton of momentum either. I don't feel like neither one of them have much.
She's got more momentum than anyone else in the division at this time.
I don't think there's much momentum in the division. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Look at the rankings.
By either one. Okay, let me pull that up.
McMahon is at 8. Zingano's at 5. So Viera's last 2 wins are against the 8 and then the 5. And you're talking about Holly Holm's last win is against the 12.
But that's where, that's where they're ranked now. So I mean, I hear what you're saying. That's a good point. I mean, I'll accept that point, like where they're ranked today. But I mean,
even where they were ranked at the time, that's what I'm saying. Betch was 11 when Holly beat her. But and at the time,
we're only going off the Betch fight though,
bruv.
Before that, she was fighting 1, 2 champion.
When Holly fought Betch, Holly was at 5. So Holly beat Betch at 11, and she was 1 ever fucking since. How do you beat the number 11 and get ranked number 1? And that's when she went to fuck off to featherweight to fight whoever the fuck.
I'll tell you one way.
Won the whole goddamn time when her most.
One way is to knock them out. And if you were already ranked high, if you're Holly Holm and you're fucking ranked 2 and you fight number 11, are you supposed to win and go down because should you win and go down in rank? If you knock that girl out,
5.
Okay, but who was above her at the time? Was fucking Raquel Pennington above her, and then she lost, so she got knocked under her, and she got jumped up? Like, there's a lot of shit that plays out for how your rank can go up, rather than just, oh, she's pretty, she's Holly, she's number one. Yeah, that goes into it a lot of the time because they're marketable. It helps your rankings, sure, but we don't have that top 5 title picture at the time. We don't know how that played out.
You're right, but I would argue that no one, even within the matchmakers or anyone else, can say that everyone that was ranked between 1 and 4 got absolutely obliterated to the point where it justified Holly going to 1 after beating a number 11 fighter. You can't tell me that anyone is going to be able to say that. No way.
I'm not denying that Holly Holm doesn't have marketability, so it helps her stay above at top of the rankings. But what I'm saying is, if you just Betch is number 11 and she beat her. If she wouldn't have beat her, she would have dropped tremendously. But she beat her, so even if she stays where she's at, she's got a good case to the title fight. And I'm not saying take the Betch fight out, but if you just go back one bantamweight fight, she was fighting the best fighters in the world, like number 1 contenders, the champions, or being the champion.
Who did Holm fight before Correa? Who was the fight before that?
Holm before Correa, it was Jermaine Durandamy. That was the featherweight title fight. But before that, Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, I don't know her exact ranking at that time, but she's probably one of the top.
So 2 losses.
Right. You know what? There'll be. Let me see if I can find it. There's always like a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, and it'll have the rank at the beginning.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. But I mean, sure. I mean, if Caitlyn Viera gets the, we know that's not going to happen. I mean, off of, I mean, you know, politics, whatever. It's probably going to be Holly Holm, but she's got to beat Aspen Ladd. But
that Shevchenko fight, Holly was 2 and Val was 7.
Val was 7, Holly was 2.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, skill-wise, you know, Val was higher than 7, but at the time, that's where she was ranked. So, I mean, yeah, she was ranked 7. But, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we know politics has helped Holly Holm get title shots, but I just feel like I don't feel like Caitlyn Viera has enough momentum herself, like, to just stand out way above Holly Holm. It can be close, I guess, but I like off merit, I feel like even that's really close. Even if you edge Viera, I think it's close on merit. But
cool. It can be close. Holly can be in the top 5 by all means. That's absolutely fine. I'm just
go back to these rankings. Who else is here?
All I'm saying is, if you're anyone else in the bantamweight division, it's almost like there's no point you fighting and beating people if you're just going to get passed over for someone that has basically done less than you or is less deserving than you. So why am I winning fights if I'm still going to be playing number 2 to these chicks? Like, what's it all for?
Well, in the men's division, you see that a lot more. I hear what you're saying, but like in some of these men's divisions, you see that a lot more. And I don't feel like Caitlyn Viera is the one to really, like, you can make that case 100%. That goes on. I agree with you. I'm with your argument. But like, if we're talking about the lightweight division, I feel like if we're talking about Dustin Poirier, I'm with you. What the fuck is the point in fighting if I'm never going to get a title shot, dude? I deserve this. Caitlyn Viera, if she was like on a 3-fight winning streak this year, if she had been active, if she was beaten, if she just came off a win over Valentina Shevchenko, and then she beat Raquel Pennington, I'm 100% with you. But I don't feel like Caitlyn Viera is Dustin Poirier at yet, or Tony Ferguson, or someone that's really getting fucked over. Like I feel like there's people that are really getting fucked over exactly how you're saying, and what is the point? I'm 100% with you. I just don't translate that to Caitlyn Viera here. But you are right. I just don't think that's for Viera because I don't feel like she has enough momentum compared to the guys I just named. But
well, it's the economics of scale, isn't it? Like how big are the divisions that we're talking about? How many fighters are we talking about in total? You know,
no, yeah, it's complete dog shit. I'm 100% with you. I do agree with everything you said as far as that is concerned. I'm just kind of arguing the only Caitlyn Viera, but you know it's happening in multiple divisions. It's not just Tony Ferguson. It's not just fucking.
But if you look at the girls. Like there's no one else comparable in that way except for Jessica Andrade in terms of how many wins they've put together, and they were like, okay, well, what the fuck's happening there? Now we see Jessica get the shot. But only like a fucking week ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah, girls aren't really stringing together wins in the bantamweight division. I don't think there's
putting wins together in any fucking division. That's my point. That's why Caitlyn is unique in that way. Even if the fights themselves don't jump off the page at you, other galley ain't doing that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why GDR is ranked number 1. Like, we haven't had the rankings. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't know what that is, but yeah.
But like Holly Holm, I'm fine with. GDR, I don't know where the fuck that came from. But yeah, I think we can move on because I do agree with your point. Like I said, I'm just, Caitlyn Viera, her 4 wins, like, that's not enough for me to be like, oh no, she definitely, like, you know what I'm saying, is who I agree with your point, but just not with her. Like, yeah, she does have merit to a title shot, but I don't know if it's enough for me to like feel like she's just up there with those other people who that's happening to, and it's a very real situation. And I would go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying.
But Chukagian, I'll go to, you said who, like other girls, Caitlyn Chukagian, like she just lost to Jessica Ai, but she had a winning streak, a legit winning streak. She was getting passed over for like who, like Sarge was about to pass over Chukagian before she had a loss. Like she was on a winning streak, and it wasn't like she was just getting. Yeah, she could have got a title fight, but that wasn't. It didn't happen. I'm making the point that it happens in other divisions as well, because you said what other girls have been on winning streaks like Viera or other than Andrade. Caitlyn Chukagian's another girl. She didn't get a title fight because she was on a winning streak.
So that's one. So the exception doesn't prove the rule. Then I'll give you another one.
Okay, I mean that was just I just hadn't even looked into it. I was just someone I thought of.
Take as long as you need. There, we'll have this again. But like the exception doesn't prove the rule. You need to do better than that. Come on.
Tatiana Suarez, Nina Ansaroff has been putting together some wins. Let's see how many wins Nina Ansaroff has right now. How much is her winning streak at?
I think it's 3.
3? Yeah, she's stringing together some wins. I mean, she's up there. Suarez, Claudia just lost, but yeah, I mean, there's some. I don't know. You can go on a 3-4 fight winning streak. I don't know if that guarantees you a title shot. And I hear it I know that's not what you're saying. That's not what you're saying. You're saying it gives you more momentum than Holly Holm because she's not on a winning streak. But I don't know.
Give you more momentum than the other fighters in your division. Like, yeah, fucking Kachuk got shafted. Fine. Jessica Andrade looked like she was getting shafted, but history has fallen down on the right side of justice this time. But in regard to Caitlyn, she's going to get shafted as well. Irrespective of what you personally
I think if Caitlyn wins 2 more fights over legitimate contenders, she has a better case. She beats fucking Raquel Pennington in her next fight, and then beats Kat Zingano, like even Marion Renault, even Aspen Ladd. Like if she beats like Kat Zingano, you beat her in the split. Like if she beats Raquel Pennington, who's fought for the title, even a former title challenger. If she even fights a former title challenger and beats one of those on her resume, that's more impressive to me. Like, there's, like, not really anybody you look at that she's beat that's championship caliber that makes her go, hey, I really am one of the best fighters in the world out here. Except for she's beat some girls. But it's just not, I don't know.
I'll pay that.
Okay. All right.
I'll pay that.
All right. You guys know what it's time for?
Uh-oh.
Amanda Nunes replied to Cris Cyborg earlier. She said, sorry, Christine, I'm done with 145. My goal was to be a double champ. But now I can help you build a division. I got someone for you. Judo Kayla is a 145er. And so, of course, Kayla Harrison retweeted that, and she didn't say, she said, when I win, because Cyborg responded to that, and this is what she had to say. She actually agreed to fight Judo Kayla. She said, if Kayla Harrison wins at the Professional Fight League tournament at 155 pounds, she doesn't have to come down to featherweight. I have no problem going up in weight to compete. Now, that's dope because some people thought, can Kayla Harrison even make 145? Like, it's like, wait, no, Cyborg should easily, like, go up. Like, I would imagine she could fight at 155. One of the whole big deals is she's too big to cut to 135. So being one of the greatest female fighters, she could fight girls at 155, but there's no 155 division, similar to there's no 145 division. So, with that being said, I thought it was interesting that Cris Cyborg seems to actually know a little bit about Judo Kayla. You know, she doesn't have to come down to featherweight. She knows she's going to be in this PFL tournament. Not too long ago, she was kind of denying her existence. Like, who? Who is that? I think Coach interviewed Cyborg. He asked her about Kayla Harrison. She was like, who? What? Who? You know,
yeah,
she was.
That was the appropriate response. That's what she's supposed to do.
Okay. Well, now this is the appropriate response because you ain't got too much of a high horse to be sitting on. You better entertain this Kayla fight because you ain't got many options, sweetie. So do your research, do your Googles.
That's literally the only reason why that's happened is because at that whole conversation was played out in public, and B, because she has a lot less leverage now for not actually, walking around with any gold. Like, to not acknowledge Kayla on Twitter in that public forum where she's been atted in and everything like that, to try and just like dismiss it and just yeah, fuck all that shit. That, aside from being disrespectful, wouldn't go over well with either her fans or her detractors. Like, it would be foolish to show anything other than willingness to fight, because she's been on record as many occasions as saying, I'll fight anyone. Whether it's something that she thinks that she should do or not is a whole other thing entirely, which is why she put in that caveat of if Kayla wins the tournament, because she wants Kayla to put a few more wins behind her, get some experience, and show that she's actually someone that's beaten a bunch of people, just like Amanda has, just like she has, just like, like you want to make for a compelling matchup, because you just don't want to see anybody fighting cans. Yeah. So that's why she said exactly what she said. If she wins the tournament, not fuck the tournament, I'll fight her now. Come we go.
Well, yeah, I've never wanted to see her fight her now. I've always said like after the tournament or after in 2020 specifically, and but I just thought it was more interesting. So whenever she was saying she didn't know who Kayla Harrison was, she did, right? I'm saying she did, right? You would imagine. What do you think?
No, absolutely. There's no way. There's too few women out there competing on a professional level to not know. There is no way she doesn't know. It's just that she has no reason to consider that and to give that any real consideration, because they shouldn't be fighting anytime soon. It's to be having conversations about it.
Sooner than you think.
Yeah, sooner than Chris thought too.
Yeah, sooner than Chris.
It still shouldn't happen. It still shouldn't happen.
No, it should. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, it should.
It shouldn't happen.
Oh, yes, it should.
Now it's going.
I'm telling you, if Kayla Harrison continues on the path she's on, by the time she's 9-0, she will have fought opponents with as much combined experience as Cris Cyborg. I mean, it's going to be pretty damn close. Well, like, legitimately, strength of schedule, Kayla Harrison, what she's doing is impressive. And with that being said, her fight team, American Top Team, add on to the fact her teammates Amanda Nunes, we know she's figured out that puzzle one time. That's going to be, like, even if Amanda Nunes lost to Cyborg, that would have benefited Kayla Harrison potentially in a future fight. Because she was at least in the octagon, had octagon experience against Cyborg. Now she's actually knocked her out. She's going to be showing Kayla Harrison every day. This is the exact punch I threw, guiding her. And Amanda Nunes, I'm not trying to go too far off topic, and I'm sure she's a loyal girl, but I'm just saying, she might want to show her the old 1-2, like exactly how she knocked Cyborg out. Like, no, you put your arm like this, get behind her. Like, no, take your arm. Okay, too far. No, but seriously, that's actually experience to train Kayla Harrison day in, day out, whose goal is to fight and beat Cyborg. And that's even more to help her at American Top Team, where she's training with fucking killers. And it's a legit competition. It's not, I mean, yeah, I put a lot of emphasis on resume. For Kayla Harrison, for Amanda Nunes, for Caitlyn, Viera, for Cyborg, for anybody. And I think Kayla Harrison's resume, yeah, it's not the names as far as former UFC title challengers, but she's doing what nobody else has done. There's people like Aaron Pico now are doing it because they're legitimate prospects as well. Got great futures in MMA, potentially former contenders if they keep on the path they're on. But
potentially former contenders? What does that
potentially mean? Future contenders, former. Potentially future contenders, potentially former contenders. Well, wow. Actually, they passed their prime. No,
Cody Garbrandt is a potentially former contender.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one, actually.
Poor Cody.
But if you look at what Kayla Harrison has done in her first 3 fights, people talk about the names and shit. It's actually really impressive. I've made this point before. I'm not going to harp on it too much, but it doesn't matter who we're talking about. I'm not going to pick on Cyborg. If you're talking John Jones, if you're talking Daniel Cormier, if you're talking Ronda Rousey, if you're talking Amanda Nunes, if you're talking any of the greatest fighters of all time, they were not fighting fighters that were 3 and 4 or had 7 fight experience in their first fight. They definitely weren't fighting fighters that were 8 and 2 in their second pro fight. So that's actually extremely impressive, regardless of the hate that Harrison gets. And I feel like because people know she's going to get a push, that's why she kind of gets pulled back and hate. Like, oh, we know the politics are going to be in her favor, you know, so we people hate on that. It's like, oh, yeah, she, you know, kind of like the Holly Holm. People hate on Holly Holm because they don't feel like she deserves what she gets. And I think that's going to kind of why Kayla Harrison's going to get some hate. Also, she's going to get love too, but I feel like she's got a legitimate chance as far as skills are concerned against Cris Cyborg, especially if she waits 1 more year. Today, it'd be close. Next year, it's 50-50. I mean, today it's probably 60-40 Cyborg. And like I said, I put an infamous on resume. So I want to move on, though, to giving Sherman. What are your thoughts on Cyborg agreeing to fight Kayla Harrison in the future at 155 pounds?
So here's a question I have. Isn't it true that Cyborg is her UFC contract is up, or no?
She has 1 more fight, or Stamina MC, I think, has the details. Or do you know the date when it would expire if she doesn't fight Stamina? March. So 1 more UFC fight or March. And if I'm not mistaken, UFC 237 is after March.
Yeah.
And
the thing is that they've always got flexibility in that contractually a fighter can't actually even embark on any negotiations with any other fight organization until 6 months after their contract has expired. So they can shoo her in for 237 easily. It's not a problem.
Yeah, but she would probably have to re-sign even for 1 fight. She would have to do some sort of re-signing with the UFC.
Yes.
Which is interesting. Okay. And given Sherman, go ahead.
But PFL is UFC owned, right?
No, not at all.
Okay, so then
they are the World Series of Fighting. They changed their name.
Okay, right. Okay.
So yeah, this tweet is promoting the PFL.
Yeah, well, yeah, not only that, but because what I was getting at, I guess, is it seems like, okay, well, if she's not going to be at the UFC very much longer, PFL would make sense potentially. They're growing, they're doing interesting things, but. You know, so that's where I thought this was going, but it's interesting to hear that maybe that's not contractually kosher.
Wait, if she does fight her fight or get out of contract instead of re-signing, and if she doesn't come to a deal, if Nunez or the UFC doesn't give her the medium, for whatever reason, she leaves the UFC, which that's a very real possibility, she should compete in the $1 million tournament at 155.
Saying.
Like, she would have to come in a little late because I think the tournament's probably going to start within the next couple of months. She would have to come in late, and the way their regular season works, like, they go off of points. And then you make it to the playoffs, and then in the playoffs, you have to fight more than once in a night. It's crazy how the PFL worked it out. I actually like it a lot. But Cyborg could for sure come over here and make up on the points. Like, she don't start give the girls a head start. She's still going to make the playoffs. Like, she could for sure, I think, sign to the PFL. But, yeah, that's interesting.
But another thing that just on the Kayla Harrison topic in general, I think I agree with you quite a bit on when it comes to, like, this is the kind of a new model for high level athletes coming into MMA as far as like joining up with a super team, taking on experienced opponents, not just getting a bunch of cans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even every kind of quote unquote high level prospect who does it, but there are some who do it. So like you said, Aaron Pico, but you could look at somebody like Mickey Gall, not necessarily taking that route.
I think only the best of the best prospects.
At the same time, though, Mickey Gall still fighting some legit guys.
For sure.
Other than seeing Punk. But anyways, other people, those are just some of the people I thought.
Well, like there's some guys in Bellator, like they're bringing in the dude from like Geordie Shore, and you know, like there's some dudes that aren't fighting the highest prospects and shit, like
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy, boom, great example. Like, yeah, there's people, but no, I feel like the best of the best prospects are the ones that do what you're saying and fight the better competition.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely worth pointing out, but at the same time, I still feel, I guess I'm a few fights away from. I feel like I'm a little bit of like a pump the brakes on it kind of a guy, because I'm like she's on the right track, but I think the best thing for Cyborg would be to get her out of the way as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, you don't want, man. You barely want the problems in 2020. 2020. Yeah. I'm just saying, as time goes by, the chances get slimmer to beat this girl. Yeah. You need to fight her tomorrow.
I think 2020 would be in Harrison's best interest. She should,
100%.
Get several more fights under her belt. Keep working, and get 3 fights this year, and then fight her next year.
All right, CFL Sports, I'll ask you your thoughts on this topic. What are your thoughts on Cyborg willing to fight Kayla Harrison at 155 pounds? And do you think she should re-sign with the UFC, or do you think she should probably maybe test out PFL, Bellator? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as per my thoughts after her loss to Nunez, that was my exact thought, was to look at, if she can't get an immediate rematch, then, the contract's going to be up in March, potentially, or she has to fight before March. Then if she can't get onto the actual tournament, then what she should do would be to let, Kayla do her thing within the tournament itself, win, and then have a super fights at the end with Kayla.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be better too, as far as for the fight itself. But man, if you're Cyborg, that's dangerous, because that's a whole nother year of legit fight experience and training with the American top team. And like Given said, the longer it gets, the better Kayla gets. So
I like that idea, though. You could do like a double or nothing. Like Kayla wins the million, but then if she fights Cyborg.
This is it. It just adds some mystique and brings a little bit more prestige to the PFL.
No, yeah, it would be way better.
Cyborg can come over there. I think, I like the idea. I do like the idea. As you say, the longer it sort of
simmers, marinates,
moves towards 2020, and the more experience
2020,
it's gonna be, the odds are gonna be more in Kayla's favor. Number one, she's new generation versus old generation. Cyborg's clearly, as we all know, has been very dominant. But again, looking at statistics and the type of opposition she's faced, the sport has moved on in leaps and bounds. So these new money, these millennials coming up, that it's a whole different ball game.
100%. I actually agree with you. Yep, it's today's age. The fighters of today are going to be better than the fighter of yesterday.
When you said it's so surprised, I actually agree with you.
Still, when I seen your facial expression when he said it, I'm like, yeah, that's my boy. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I see. The only thing with that for me, I'm sure you're going to try and shoot this down the earliest available opportunity, but I just feel like the only real motivation that Cris would have to go over to PFL would be either to enter that tournament as to earn herself $1 million bucks, or to skip the tournament and then literally just to fight Kayla. And the idea of moving fight organizations so as to fight one fighter, I just don't like that.
I hear that, but what about...
I think that makes Kayla a bit too important. It's just that I think that all the other fighters that fight at that sort of weight, if they're anywhere, they're in Bellator. Just go over and just fight whoever's left in your weight class at Bellator, because that's where they all are. Just fight them. let Kayla do a tournament. And if you need to leave Bellator after you clean that out, because Cris is also the only fighter that's actually won a belt in every fight organization she's been in. So she can get a belt at Bellator and then go over and fight Kayla. If Kayla's the winner there, which she probably will be, then that's even more compelling. I just think that Cris actually like lowers herself and regresses by going into that tournament. I don't think the money is the only incentive to do that. If she's got to fight
both.
Kayla,
yeah, no.
In what sense? What do you mean, Sifa?
So she could go over to PFL, get either do the tournament and win that, and again be crowned another champion within that organization, and then bounce back over to Scott Coker and then dominate the hell out of that, retire as the GOAT, unless she rematches Nunez.
It's not the most efficient use of time, though, is it? It's just like basically the tournament was put together so as to validate and to give credence to Kayla. That's what it's for. I.e., those fighters have been cherry-picked to suit Kayla's standard. I.e., what they're in.
I mean, there's not many girls that don't suit Kayla. I mean, she could pretty much, doesn't matter. Like, she's probably going to beat you at that weight class. There's not the highest level competition. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
So it's like, I was going to say that to your point. I'm curious to see who they are going to have in that tournament. Because a lot of the girls are at Bellator, or the UFC. They're not signing featherweight. So, but at lightweight, I would have. There's not that many bantam. What are you gonna have bantamweights blowing up to lightweight? So. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna see Josette Cotton in there, but no. Also, to your point, though, Stamina, I was gonna say, like, couldn't Kayla Harrison? I mean, I agree with, I don't think she should enter this first tournament with Kayla, because also they could meet in the regular season. I do think she should come toward the end. That'd be the best timing. But could she fight Kayla and not just for one fight, then get in the tournament next year for the $1 million? Like, not in 2019. So fight Kayla, like, let's say January, and then that season fight for $1 million again, regardless of that outcome. I mean,
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but I do like what you're saying. Like a win. I like the idea.
It's better for Cris's brand. It's better for Cris's brand, especially because of the loss to Nunez. It's absolutely important for her to be fighting people that people know, that have names, and have their own path within MMA, all of their own. She can't go and fight no-name people after Nunez. That makes her look like a fucking waste girl. Like, she can't do that. She has to go to Bellator and fight people that are fighting people. No, that tournament does nothing for her except money. Yeah, and it damages her brand massively.
And that takes the money away that you probably earned in the month.
Exactly. So that $1 million might be the only million. They might, you could make $1 million a whole bunch of different ways, but that PFL million might be the last $1 million you make. Like, that, it's just a bad idea. All
right. Well, that's a great point. I think we've been on for almost 2 hours now. We're about to go to our closing thoughts, man. We've talked a little. This has been like all WMMA. That's been dope. We're going to do this again soon because Darren Till versus Jorge Masvidal just got announced, I believe, today. And I want to pull up the co-main event as well. It was Gunnar Nelson. Was it Neil Magny? Does anyone know?
No. It's Leon Edwards.
Leon Edwards and Gunnar.
Yeah, man. Leon Edwards and Trust Lee is going to do the damn thizzle.
Okay, all right. Well,
not being biased or anything.
For a minute, man. 1-2-1.
2-1.
All right. Well, so we'll do our closing thoughts, and it can be on Till versus Masvidal. It can be Leon Edwards versus Gunnar Nelson. But I'll start with you, CFR Sports. What is your thoughts, closing thoughts on the show or anything going on in MMA right now? And thanks for coming on the panel as well.
You're welcome, full time. Excellent broadcast as usual. Excellent stream. Well, just to carry on that same train of thought, co-main event, UFC London, Birmingham. He's going to be in the building, fighting Leon Edwards versus Gunnar Nelson. Based upon his last performance, Gunnar's, which was very impressive. I didn't expect it to go down so quickly with Cowboy or the Viera. It's looking to be a nice little challenge for him, trustfully, because Leon's very well-rounded. He's going to come out with a very spectacular performance, which is going to then catapult him to a proper title contendership. that's what I'm very optimistic in. But you know, we'll see what happens on the day.
Okay, all right. Leon Edwards versus Gunnar Nelson. It's going to be the co-main event to Darren Till and Jorge Masvidal. Given your name, give us your closing thoughts on the show or either of these upcoming fights.
I was actually thinking about talking about Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw real quick. I think you know, we got the weigh-ins coming up here pretty quick, and I think the big question mark I have before these weigh-ins turns out is it's not anything about TJ Dillashaw. I'm pretty skeptical of whether Henry Cejudo is going to make weight.
What?
He's always got a rough weight cut. He's not looking. He looks huge basically. So. We'll see if Henry makes weight. That's my big mystery. For
Garrett Kindred was here. He would say it's all in the head. But
yeah, it's true, man. The dude's just like stocky, but I just think the big mystery for going into the weekend is whether he makes weight, and if the MMA gods are good to us, we'll get that fight. But it'd be weird if you think about how the belts and what all's on the line for like Dillashaw, if Cejudo didn't make weight, Dillashaw would still win the belt if he beat him.
Yep, but Cejudo, he would still.
If he doesn't make weight, he's lost the belt straight away. He has to.
Yeah, well, that's weird.
Yeah, that's yeah.
If he doesn't make championship weight, then he can't fight for the belt.
So would it be vacant? I'm saying, if he beats TJ but misses weight,
then the belt's
vacant. Wow. Mm-hmm. But he would be for sure fighting for the vacant belt in the next fight. But yeah, that's interesting. But I wanted to ask you on that tip though, pause, on TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo. On TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo, do you think TJ Dillashaw is at all looking past Henry Cejudo, talking about Max Holloway? Talking about Henry's not a dangerous fighter. He says Henry's shaking in his boots. He feels like. Do you think he could be potentially looking past Henry Cejudo at all?
No. I think sometimes they get asked questions about other fighters, but also I think TJ's way too smart for that. I don't think he's the type of guy he's not just gonna go in and expect it to go one way, and when it doesn't, not have a game plan. You know, so. I feel like he'll be his usual in control self, and Cejudo might have some positions he can get into that Dillashaw doesn't want to be in. But
pause.
Yeah, you're right. But I do think Dillashaw will get it done ultimately.
Okay.
He'll finish him off.
Big pause. Big pause. No hetero. Okay. No hetero on that one. Oh shoot, dude. I was gonna ask you something else about the fight, but now it threw me off. I forgot what it was. Oh shoot. Threw me off. All right, I don't even remember. But the fight's coming up. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you your prediction. Pause. No, I was gonna ask you your prediction for the fight coming up this weekend. I also was gonna say we're gonna do another panel Friday if you're gonna be there. I'll ask you your prediction probably again. But what's your prediction for Cejudo versus Dillashaw?
In general, I just think Dillashaw will get it done. I think he's the smarter guys we've ever seen do it, and too athletic. I'm thinking for Cejudo, although that's weird to say. More athletic or too athletic for an Olympian, but I guess maybe I'm thinking like his movement.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And his MMA wrestling and shit. Yeah, like his angles. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, so I just think that's got the edge, but I wouldn't.
Confident in his weight cut to 125? I know you're more worried about Cejudo's.
He looks really thin and stuff. So I think, and he sounds like he's all there. So I think he's going to be fine. But who knows?
Okay. All right. Well, thank you also.
See you again on Friday, I guess.
Yes, sir. And giving sure name. That's giving sure name. Everybody. Also, make sure you guys check out CFR Sports channel. I believe he has a YouTube channel. Do you CFR Sports? I believe so.
Yes, indeed. I'm a bit lacking with the content, but it's
All
mainly
good, all
content
good.
based.
Make sure you guys subscribe. Just have the placeholder for when he does upload. If you enjoyed today's show, and so Stamina MC, we're gonna go to you next. Your closing thoughts on today's show or anything going down in the world of MMA.
I'm not really sure I have any. I mean, it's kind of interesting the way that Amanda did just develop this personality just like today to decide to be a troll. I was like, where does this come from? And yeah, quite.
Oh, she was trolling heavy today.
Hard.
She was trolling so hard. Like, she was like, I don't know if she smoked like some really good weed and she was just cracking up like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
she just let Nina take her phone or some shit. Like, damn.
Yeah, someone had a sense of humor today. They're trolling. Like, it might have been Nina, no, to be honest. It could have been. Yeah. It could either way. It was really funny though. I enjoyed it actually.
Of course you did. I don't have any closing thoughts. I think I'm just looking forward to the weekend, seeing what happens. A whole bunch of interesting matchups. No one seems to care about the WMMA thing. I'm quite interested in seeing what happens with Calderwood versus Lipsky. But that's about it. See everybody in the weekend, really. All
right, and you see Amanda Nunes has hashtag and still at the top of her profile, letting you know she's ready to defend that belt. And it also made me think about that Amanda Nunes song, and when I'm walking out and still. Okay, but no, thank you guys for coming on the panel. This has been dope. This is exactly what I needed after work when I seen all of this WMMA stuff going on. Great conversation. Salute to the chat for coming through. We're about to get out of here, but I do appreciate you guys coming through. If you haven't yet, hit the like button. It would be much appreciated before you get out of here when you finish up biting your bagel. So thank you to the panel. I'm going to play a song and then get out of here. Thank you guys for all coming on. Salute. See you guys. All right. That's the panel, everybody. That is the epic full-time family. And let me get that off the screen. Yeah, man. Fucking love talking with those guys and you guys in the chat. So we're about to get out of here. Thank you guys for coming through. It has been fun. We're going to get out of here with some UFC Yankovic tunes. If you haven't yet, make sure you check out this channel on YouTube. UFC Yankovic, a lot of MMA parody songs if you're new to the channel. And let's go. We're going to get out of here and play one of these. We're going to play the old school throwback Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko. And then I'm out. Where we at? Actually, we might rock out with a few songs just because we got some upcoming fights. Wonder Boy's fight was announced. Darren Till. Amanda Nunes. You know what I'm saying? We might play a few songs if you're listening, but that's all it is. So, here we go. Old school. First things first, I'll be the newest champion after I beat Amanda Nunes. I want the crown, bitch, I'm the queen, you know I do this. I leave him lying on the ground because I do this. It's Valentina Shevchenko, quick to beat a bitch if you ain't no way to win, so come and get your face rolled. Thanks, ho. After I get the belt, I'm getting bankrolled. And Range Rovers ripping and whipping to getting makeovers. This the takeover. In our first fight, I really won. If you ain't think so, this time it will be done. Whoa there, hold on, go there, bitch, you about to piss me off. If you think you won that first fight, then you can kiss these balls. You fucked around and got a rematch with Amanda. Want a rematch with Amanda, then you're gonna need the handgun. Cause Amanda fuck around and beat a bitch till she can't stand up. You think Amanda's fucking around, then why don't you go ask Misha's fan club? Or how about Ronda Rousey? I break everyone around me's will. In the cage, I pound and kill, and when I'm walking out and still. careful, Valentina, they're saying you're pretty confident, but here in MMA, I ain't the one that you want a problem with, so stop it, bitch, or you wanna gon' have to drop a bitch. I ain't about to lose and go out like my homegirl Ronda did, but speaking of losing, how about you and Amanda Nunes? She beat you twice, and for this fight, she's teaching I'm the student, never truant, cause I really wanna beat you, I'ma do it when I do. Please don't go to the media with excuses. I know you beat me in Muay Thai, but this is different. This is more than throwing punches, knees and kicks and clinching. This is more like war. These motherfucking chicks is vicious, and anything goes. I don't fear any of these hoes, not even Rose, Tatiana, just Andrade, or Cyborg. If you're trying to frighten me, then you should try more. When we fight, we'll get it poppin' like July 4th. At UFC 231, you're gonna die, whore. It's the fight game that I adore. I gave up everything to fight these wars, to become the greatest fighter in the world. So I hope you get what you're paying for. Be careful with me. Do you know who you're fighting? About my legacy or about my striking? You might beat these other girls around the world, but they ain't nothing like me. Be careful with me. Yeah. It's not a threat, it's a warning. Be careful with me. Yeah, I'm writing some bad words and your name on a water bottle. Be careful with me. Be careful with me. Shout out to the full-time family. Be careful with me. Remix. Yo, JJ can't be serious, she gotta be fucking joking. If Joanna thinks that she can fuck with me, she must be smoking that same crack rock that had Priscilla Cachoeira choking, or maybe that pot that the Diaz brothers be toking with their homies. Either way though, man, this chick is fucking crazy. I'll do this hoe dirty, then get to dancing like Swayze. Then maybe she'll retire and go have her some babies, or go to the WWE. Anywhere she goes, she can't fuck with me. Most of these hoes is ducking me. The only way you win is luckily. Bitch, I am the GOAT, and Pavel has a plan with you, we'll fucking see. And if you ain't know, they call me Miss Shevchenko, or Miss Come and Get Your Face Swole. And this the takeover. Yeah, this the takeover. Yeah, the wait is over.